For years, Hudson and Rex wasn't just another police drama. It was a story about trust, loyalty, and love between a man and his dog. Detective Charlie Hudson and Rex weren't partners. They were family. Their chemistry wasn't scripted. It was real, alive, and powerful. It made the show what it was. But in Season 8, everything changed. Fans tuned in expecting to see Charlie back in command, working side by side with Rex, only to realize that his presence was barely there. Or worse, completely erased. Instead, a new face stood in the spotlight, and the world suddenly started asking, where's John Reardon? At first, it didn't make sense. Just months earlier, John had shared updates about his recovery from tonsil cancer, a battle he faced quietly and bravely while still working on the show. Fans celebrated his return, believing his story was one of triumph. He'd beaten the odds, survived one of life's harshest tests, and was ready to reclaim his role. So why is he missing now? Why would someone who loves the series, the cast, and the fans so deeply just walk away without a word? The truth feels buried under layers of secrecy. Official statements are nowhere to be found. No heartfelt goodbye, no farewell episode, not even a passing mention from the showrunners. Just silence, the kind that feels heavy, intentional, and almost cruel. Fans have started piecing the puzzle together on their own. They've noticed the shift. The way the new character, Mark, was slowly written into scenes that once belonged to Hudson. It started small in Season 7, just a few moments here and there, a backup detective stepping in while John was in treatment. But now, in Season 8, he's front and center, standing beside Rex like nothing ever happened. And the poster? It says it all. Mark is the new face of the show, the one smiling beside Rex where Hudson once stood. It's a visual replacement that fans can't ignore. And it hurts, because for many, Hudson and Rex was never about just solving crimes. It was about that unspoken bond, the one built on trust, loyalty, and years of shared battles. To see it stripped away without warning feels like a betrayal. The heartbreak deepens when you remember what John Reardon went through. He didn't leave because of scandal or boredom. He left to fight for his life. And he won. That kind of courage should have been celebrated with a triumphant return, a hero's welcome. But maybe this isn't just a case of bad timing or scheduling conflicts. Maybe this is something deeper. The whispers online tell a darker story, one where John Reardon didn't step away willingly, but was pushed out quietly behind closed doors. Some claim it was about creative control. Others say it came down to contracts, budgets, or disagreements with the direction of the show. Whatever the reason, the result feels the same. Hudson is gone, and the show that carries his name suddenly feels hollow. Because when you take away the soul of a story, all you're left with is the shell. Yet, there's one detail that fans keep coming back to: the silence. No confirmation, no goodbye, no official statement. And that silence might mean something. In television, silence often hides secrets. Could this be a setup? Could Season 8 be hiding a twist that no one sees coming? The possibility is too intriguing to ignore. What if John Reardon's disappearance isn't permanent? What if Charlie Hudson is still out there, somewhere, waiting for the perfect moment to return? Maybe the producers are playing the long game, creating chaos now only to deliver the emotional gut punch of a lifetime later. It's a dangerous gamble, but one that could either destroy the show or save it. Until then, fans are left in a strange limbo, torn between anger and hope. Every episode without Charlie feels like a wound. Every new scene with Mark feels forced. But still, deep down, there's a small spark that refuses to die. Because the truth is simple. Hudson and Rex isn't just a show. It's a bond, a connection that fans feel on a deeply emotional level. And as long as John Reardon hasn't said goodbye, the story of Charlie Hudson isn't over. It's just unfinished. Something about the way Hudson and Rex Season 8 has unfolded feels wrong. Like a puzzle with a missing piece that everyone can see, but no one wants to talk about. The producers haven't addressed John Reardon's absence. The cast remains unusually quiet, and the official social media accounts dance around the topic as if pretending nothing happened will make fans forget. But fans haven't forgotten, not even close. In fact, their determination to uncover the truth has turned into something bigger than the show itself. Every photo, every teaser, every behind-the-scenes moment is being examined frame by frame, as if somewhere in the background lies a hidden clue about Charlie Hudson's fate. It's become an In the early days of Season 8, people held on to optimism. They thought maybe Charlie would appear mid-season, maybe in a surprise cameo, or as part of a secret plot. But as each episode airs without him, hope begins to fade. And yet, there's still something about that silence that feels intentional, as if the writers are deliberately avoiding closure. No funeral, no official exit, no mention that he's gone. Just an empty space where he used to stand. In television, that usually means one thing: the story isn't over. But then, if he is coming back, why keep fans in agony? Why push a replacement so aggressively if there's a larger plan? The inconsistency only fuels suspicion. Rumors have started to circulate, whispers of behind-the-scenes disagreements, creative tension, or even contract disputes. Some claim John Reardon wanted more say in the direction of his character, while others believe network executives wanted a younger face to refresh the brand. But anyone who's watched even one episode of Hudson and Rex knows this: you can't manufacture chemistry. You can't replace a bond that was built through years of trust and subtle emotion. Reardon's connection with Rex wasn't just acting, it was genuine partnership. Every glance, every command, every rescue carried real weight. To try to reproduce that with someone else feels like rewriting history. Still, a small group of fans refuses to believe that this is the end. They've built theories, dozens of them. Some say Charlie is on a secret assignment, working undercover somewhere far away, which is why no one talks about him. Others think he's been framed or forced into hiding, giving the writers a dramatic reason to bring him back later. A few even believe Season 8's storyline is a setup for a bigger twist, a fake-out designed to reignite public interest before Reardon makes his emotional return. And honestly, that theory might not be so far-fetched. Hudson and Rex has always loved its emotional surprises. What if this time, the biggest twist isn't in the case they're solving, but in the casting itself? But until the truth comes out, the frustration only grows. Every week without Reardon feels like another reminder of what's missing. Viewers describe the new episodes as flat, empty, and soulless. Even those who like Mark admit that the energy has changed. That spark, that unspoken trust between man and dog, has vanished. Rex doesn't look the same beside anyone else. It's subtle, but you can feel it. Still, hope lingers. Because deep down, people don't want to believe that John Reardon was pushed aside after everything he endured. They want to believe there's a reason for the mystery. That somewhere behind the curtain, the writers are crafting something brilliant. They want to believe that maybe, just maybe, Charlie Hudson's absence will lead to one of the most emotional comebacks television has ever seen. But belief can only carry the audience so far. Without answers, even the most loyal fans start to lose patience. They're demanding transparency, begging for clarity, and pleading with the show's creators to speak up. Because silence, no matter how strategic, eventually starts to feel like disrespect. As more people voice their frustration, the show's future begins to look uncertain. Ratings are slipping, online backlash is intensifying, and the once unbreakable loyalty of the fanbase is starting to crack. Viewers are asking themselves if they can continue to support a series that feels like it's betraying its roots. And the more the producers refuse to address the elephant in the room, the more viewers turn away. It's a dangerous cycle, one that could easily spiral out of control if not handled soon. The irony is almost poetic. A show built on partnership, loyalty, and trust now stands accused of abandoning those very principles. Hudson and Rex used to be about a detective who never gave up, no matter the odds. Now, fans are wondering if the creators have given up on him. And that's the real tragedy. Because if this silence continues, if John Reardon truly is gone for good, then it won't just be Charlie Hudson's story that ends. It'll be the spirit of the entire show. But the story isn't finished yet. There's still time to make it right. Still a chance for redemption. The question is, will the producers take it? Or will they let silence be the final word in a story that once stood for courage, loyalty, and the unbreakable bond between a man and his dog? The answer, whatever it is, will define Hudson and Rex forever. As whispers spread across fan circles and entertainment blogs, a new question begins to haunt the Hudson and Rex fandom. Was John Reardon's exit really planned? Or was it something sudden? Something that even the cast didn't see coming? For a man who has carried the show for nearly a decade, the lack of farewell feels almost cruel. There was no emotional goodbye post from the network. Some insiders claim the tension had been building for months before filming even began. Reardon, still recovering from his health struggles, allegedly wanted a lighter schedule, fewer overnight shoots, more flexibility. But the network had other plans. Season 8 was supposed to be bigger, faster, and more demanding than ever before. The production wanted to reinvent the formula to attract a younger audience, pushing the show toward a more action-heavy direction. But where does a grounded, emotionally driven detective like Charlie Hudson fit into that kind of chaos? He doesn't. And that's where the first cracks appeared. Rumors say there were creative disagreements, heated discussions about tone, dialogue, and even Rex's role in the show. Reardon reportedly believed Hudson and Rex should stay true to its emotional core, the relationship between a man and his dog, built on loyalty and quiet strength. But the new creative team wanted more flash, more spectacle, and less heart. Eventually, something had to give, and when the actors' health concerns were added into the mix, the producers may have seen an opportunity, a chance to quietly push him out without public backlash. Except the fans noticed. Meanwhile, the network continues to release vague statements, carefully worded enough to say everything and nothing at once. They thank the dedicated cast and crew for keeping the show going, but never once mention John Reardon by name. When asked directly, representatives say things like, "The story is evolving," or "We're excited for what's next." Those are not the words of a network that plans to bring someone back. Those are the words of people hoping the audience will forget. But fans don't forget, especially not when it comes to someone who defined a show. What makes the situation more unsettling is the emotional toll it's taking on the rest of the cast. Mako Wen, who plays Sarah, seems quieter in interviews, often steering questions away from Reardon's absence. Kevin Hanchard's responses feel rehearsed, cautious. Even the dog trainers working with Diesel von Bergenwald, the real-life Rex, have posted fewer updates. It's as though everyone's walking on eggshells, afraid to say the wrong thing. That kind of tension doesn't happen unless there's something serious happening behind the scenes. But if John Reardon truly left on his own terms, why the secrecy? Why the silence? Why not give fans the closure they deserve? A proper farewell episode, a press release, or even a short message from Reardon himself? The absence of all that raises one chilling possibility. Maybe it wasn't his choice at all. Maybe the decision was made for him. In television, that's not uncommon. Contracts can be terminated quietly, character arcs can be rewritten overnight, and actors can vanish from credits without explanation. But what's rare is when a network underestimates the emotional connection between the audience and the character they remove. The reaction has been explosive. Online petitions demanding Reardon's return are gaining traction. Twitter threads, Reddit discussions, and Facebook fan pages are filled with one shared sentiment: bring Charlie Hudson back! The frustration isn't just about losing a character, it's about feeling deceived. Fans invested years in a partnership that symbolized trust, loyalty, and resilience. Now, that trust feels broken. And if the show doesn't address it soon, Hudson and Rex could face an irreversible backlash. Yet, in the middle of this storm, something unexpected is happening. The more the show tries to move on, the more viewers rally behind Reardon. They're rewatching old episodes, sharing compilations of his best moments, celebrating his work instead of letting it fade. In a way, the fandom has turned his absence into resistance, a silent protest against how he's been treated. Every post, every comment, every fan edit is a reminder that Charlie Hudson still lives in their hearts, even if the show wants to bury him. And there's another twist that fans are now clinging to, one that could change everything. Several production insiders have hinted that Reardon's departure might not be final. A few claim that certain scenes for Season 8 were filmed months before the official shooting schedule began, scenes that were never used or mentioned. Could it be that John Reardon filmed secret footage before stepping away? Was the plan always to bring him back later in a shocking mid-season twist? It sounds impossible, but it's not unheard of. Shows like this thrive on secrecy. Maybe the producers are waiting for the perfect moment to drop the biggest surprise in Hudson and Rex history. If that's true, it could be the redemption the series desperately needs. Imagine it, a mid-season episode where Rex suddenly picks up a familiar scent. The tension builds, the music swells, and from the shadows, Charlie Hudson steps forward. That one moment could reignite everything. The ratings, the fan base, the magic. It would turn disappointment into triumph, heartbreak into hope. and it would prove that loyalty still means something in a world where TV shows often forget their own heart. But until that day comes, if it ever does, fans remain trapped in uncertainty. They tune in week after week, torn between love for the show and frustration at its choices. They want to believe that John Reardon's story isn't over, that the silence isn't permanent. Because in their eyes, Hudson and Rex without Charlie Hudson isn't Hudson and Rex at all. It's just a show pretending to be something it used to be. And deep down, maybe that's the real truth hiding behind the curtain. Not a conspiracy, not a secret plot twist, but a harsh reminder that sometimes the people who make television forget why audiences fell in love with it in the first place. They forget that the soul of a story isn't in flashy cases or fancy edits, it's in the quiet loyalty between a man and his dog. And the fans who never stopped believing in the shock of John Reardon's disappearance has transformed Hudson and Rex into more than just a TV show. It's become a mystery that even its own detectives couldn't solve. The internet is overflowing with theories, debates, and speculation. Fans are desperate to connect the dots, to make sense of what happened. Every rumor, every cryptic post, every interview clip is being analyzed like a case file. Because if the network won't tell the truth, the fans will uncover it themselves. One of the most popular theories is the creative replacement theory. According to this idea, the new showrunners, who took over after season 7, wanted to refresh the show's formula. They wanted new faces, faster pacing, and a broader international audience. Their plan was to phase out Hudson slowly, allowing a new detective to take his place while keeping Rex as the familiar bridge. It's a risky move, one that most fans consider a betrayal. Hudson and Rex isn't a franchise that can simply replace its lead and move on. You can't separate the heart from the body and expect it to keep beating. Yet, this theory explains the subtle changes that fans began noticing at the end of season 7. Fewer scenes featuring Charlie, more focus on secondary characters, and sudden hints that someone new might be taking charge. Another popular fan theory digs even deeper: the hidden recovery theory. This one paints a very different picture. According to some insiders, John Reardon might not be gone permanently at all. They believe that he stepped away temporarily to focus on his recovery after his cancer battle, and that his absence is being turned into a story arc. Some eagle-eyed fans even spotted clues hidden in season 8's early episodes. A photograph of Hudson still sits on Sarah's desk. Rex sometimes growls at the mention of new names, as if reacting to someone missing. One scene reportedly shows Rex staring out a window, whining softly, as if waiting for his partner to come home. Could this all be deliberate? Could the show be preparing for an emotional mid-season twist? The triumphant return of Charlie Hudson? It's wishful thinking, perhaps, but it's the kind of hope that keeps fans watching. Because they can't accept the idea that Hudson would just vanish without meaning. His story feels unfinished, his journey incomplete. And television has a history of surprises like this. Actors have been written out before, only to reappear when audiences least expect it. So maybe, just maybe, Hudson and Rex is setting the stage for something massive. A return that will shock the entire fandom. But not everyone is convinced. Some believe the truth is far less cinematic and far more painful. The contract fallout theory suggests that financial disagreements sealed Reardon's fate. After the show's international success, distribution rights expanded to several countries. With that came new deals, new sponsors, and, reportedly, major negotiations over salaries. Some sources claim Reardon requested fair compensation. Not excessive, but equal to the value he brought to the show. After all, he is the title character. Yet, rather than negotiate, the network allegedly decided to move forward without him. It's not the first time this has happened in television, but it's always the same result. Fans feel betrayed, the show loses its emotional center, and ratings eventually fall. If you think the outrage is limited to social media, think again. At recent fan conventions, people have started wearing shirts that say, "Bring back Hudson," or "Team Charlie Forever." Some even bring posters with pictures of John Reardon and Rex, demanding answers from the producers who attend panels. The room goes silent whenever the question is asked. Nobody wants to speak about it. It's as if there's a wall of secrecy surrounding the subject, an unspoken rule not to mention his name. And that silence only fuels the anger. Because the fans aren't asking for gossip or scandal. They just want respect. They want acknowledgement that the man who gave his all to the show deserves better than to be erased. Yet, behind the anger, there's also heartbreak. Many fans grew up with Hudson and Rex. They watched Charlie rescue Rex from danger, teach him to trust again, and work side by side to protect people who couldn't protect themselves. The bond between them wasn't just fiction. It was something pure, something audiences needed in a world full of chaos. To see that bond ripped away without explanation feels personal. For many, it's not just about losing a character. It's about losing the comfort of something familiar, something safe. And then there's Rex himself, or rather Diesel, the real-life canine actor who brought him to life. Fans are heartbroken watching him perform alongside a new partner. The chemistry is different. It's professional, but it lacks that spark, that deep emotional connection that Reardon shared with him. It's something you can't fake. You can see it in Rex's eyes, in the way he used to look up at Hudson. It was real. It was love, loyalty, and understanding without words. That connection was the soul of the show. And now, without it, everything feels hollow. Still, there's a strange kind of determination forming among the viewers. Instead of turning away, they've turned their frustration into action. Petitions are gaining thousands of signatures. Fan accounts are trending hashtags like #JusticeForHudson, #BringBackReardon, and #HudsonandRexForever. Some are even reaching out to the network directly, demanding transparency. The message is clear. They're not giving up. They're not letting Hudson and Rex become just another show that forgot its roots. Meanwhile, critics have started to weigh in. Entertainment outlets are beginning to notice the uproar, calling it one of the most passionate TV fan movements in years. Even rival networks are watching closely, recognizing how powerful this fan base is. The loyalty surrounding John Reardon's character is something rare in today's world of disposable television. It proves that authenticity still matters, that audiences can tell the difference between a performance and a partnership built on real connection. If the network is smart, they'll listen. Because this moment, as painful as it is, could still be turned around. Imagine a Season 8 finale where Rex finally tracks down Charlie. Imagine that reunion, no words, just a look, a shared heartbeat, and the sound of Rex's bark echoing through the station. That's the kind of scene that would bring the world to tears. That's the kind of ending that would save Hudson and Rex. But until then, fans wait. Angry, hopeful, and heartbroken all at once. They refresh their feeds every day, searching for any sign of John Reardon's return, any clue that this story isn't truly over. Because deep down, they know what the show's creators seem to have forgotten, that the connection between Hudson and Rex was never just fiction. It was real, and it changed people. And as long as the fans keep believing, Charlie Hudson isn't gone. He's just waiting for the right moment to come home,